And in the sports sense of it, you can argue that they're talent-wise, they're the best they've been the best at their position for a long time. KD has always been more talented than LeBron, just not greater than LeBron. There's a difference. And never in his entire career has he been more valuable to a team than LeBron. Rodgers, he's valuable. That's the only thing they're different in. He's valuable, Rodgers. But he's always been more talented than Tom Brady. Better athlete than Tom Brady. It's just sometimes their personality. Like, Brady's leadership is next level because he's not passive-aggressive, he's not finicky. These guys are. So their personalities are basically the same, and their play style is basically the same. Steph Curry is Patrick Mahomes. They're incredibly special, incredibly flashy, amazing to watch. And unlike KD and Rodgers, they're less finicky, less passive-aggressive. And a little calmer, a little more chill. Westbrook, I think he's Cam Newton. They just play differently. Cam Newton led the league in touchdowns, led quarterbacks in touchdowns last year. 12 touchdowns, rushing. 12 rushing touchdowns as a quarterback. He's a running quarterback. We don't see that a lot. Westbrook is the best rebounding guard ever. He averages 10 boards a game as a guard. That's not normal. So these guys are both not normal. Sorry, that sounded weird. But they both play their positions differently than the standard does. But and, they both are kind of like a big personality. Both can be a little difficult. They're both incredibly athletic. They both have kind of a fashion style that everyone finds amazing for some reason. So that's them. Giannis is Lamar Jackson. They're great with the lead. Not very great when they're trailing. But when they have a lead, wow. And they're both kind of incomparable, You can't compare them to anyone. Like, who is Lamar Jackson's comp? Michael Vick? No, Michael Vick couldn't throw like this. Who's Giannis's? LeBron couldn't rebound like him. Ever. Who's Giannis's? KD couldn't rebound like him ever. Giannis and Lamar are just different at their positions. Like Cam Newton and Westbrook. They're just different at their positions. Except, Giannis and Lamar are just not that good with leads. Or when they're trailing. So, Russell Wilson and Damian Lillard are basically the same. Their facial expressions remain the same, win or loss. Wilson and Lillard. Same facial expressions, win or loss. Great leaders. When they get going, they're the best thing they're probably the best at what they do when they get going. Sorry, I was trying to get. I'm really congested. I just gotta get the stuff out of my nose. But Wilson and Lillard, basically the same facial expression no matter what. Kind of positive and upbeat. That sometimes is a little corny, but that's who they are, and it works as their leaders. Now, here's what you cannot argue with. I think you maybe can argue with the other two. Brady and LeBron. Same kind of guys. They're both great leaders. There was what was there one time where we questioned LeBron's leadership? Yeah, I think there was one time. It was like, what is it? 2 years ago, when they missed the playoffs, when he couldn't make it to the playoffs with these guys that were like the 10 seed before that. And he also missed 20 games, but it's his fault they missed the playoffs. But they both are great leaders. Tom Brady and LeBron are just different at what they do. They're both, very liked by their teammates. All their teammates like them. There's no teammates that don't like them or find them difficult. Like, they're having people that have said Rodgers or Westbrook or, KD are difficult. No one has said Brady or LeBron is difficult. Alright. Let's get some music going. Alright. Come on. Oh, damn it. Alright. This is taking way too long. Just wait like 5 more seconds. There we go. Alright, so the Lakers say they are preparing for the Warriors' head of the snake, Steph Curry. Now, you know what I've realized about Steph Curry from watching him this year? He's a lot more built than he was when he started. And honestly, he was never that small, honestly. He's pretty built. I mean, if the average guy were to defend Steph Curry, and Curry went at them with a full head of steam and bumped into them, they would fall over. The average guy would fall over. Curry is tall. Taller than the average guy, and more muscular than the average guy. Steph is 6'3", 6'4", around there, and weighs like 195, 200 pounds. That's not bad. I know for damn sure I'd fall over if he ran into me. He ain't that small. Yeah, my only problem with the Warriors is they, they're too Steph reliant. Like, they're relying on Steph Curry probably dropping about 45 to win this game. So I don't know. I'll take the Lakers pretty comfortably. Maybe by like 10. About not a blowout, and also not close. Like, just a comfortable win for me. That's what I think the Lakers do here. All right. So Sabrina Ionescu. Sorry if I butchered the name. She became the youngest player in WNBA history to record a triple-double. I think she's 23, believe. Now, when you got to realize about the NBA, I think a lot of people miss it. Their ratings went up 25%. Their ratings in the past couple of years have gone up more than any sport. You know why? They got a new commissioner. The better the commissioner, the better the league. Rob Manfred in baseball, I don't like him that much. But they got a new commissioner. Their ratings are going way up. And, congrats to her for becoming the youngest player to average a triple-double. Or record a triple-double, my bad. And congrats to the WNBA for getting more fans here. Alright. Sorry. Okay, we got a long way to go here. Okay. So, I'm a little skeptical of the Clippers' playoff chances. And that's because their leader, Kawhi, is a quiet, quirky guy. We don't really understand him, really. He's a little odd. And, I think personality is important in the playoffs. And, teams always feed off a star's personality. The Clippers, it's tough to feed off of Kawhi's, quiet demeanor, Easy to feed off Brady, LeBron, Chris Paul. It's easy to feed off those guys. Like, Jimmy Butler in Miami, that just fits. Butler didn't work anywhere else because of his competitive fire, but in Miami, he does. So teams feed off their star's personality. And Kawhi's, no. And, they have, what is it? Almost the least amount of clutch points, least amount of points scored in the clutch. So they're not doing that well in the clutch either. So, I don't know how I feel about it. You know what? Who do they play? I don't know who they play. The first round they play... Just wait a second. Oh, the Mavs. Okay. That's probably a win. But I don't know if they beat... I don't know. It depends on the matchup for them. But I think personality is important, and I think they need a different leader. So Russell Westbrook had a pretty good game yesterday. I don't want to sound like a hater or anything, but I think yesterday defines Westbrook's playoff career. I think he's great in the regular season. It is not easy averaging a triple-double. It is not easy breaking Oscar Robertson's record. It's not. And I congratulated him for that. But I think in the playoffs, that defined him yesterday. He's not good. Here are some of his stats in the playoffs. And like I said, I try to be more concerned with what they do well, and I just said that. He's a great regular season player, triple-doubles all over the place. But in the playoffs, 7 and 18. Okay. So this is since leaving Kevin Durant. 7 and 18 win-loss record. 39% from the field. 29% from 3. 5 turnovers a game. A negative 120 plus minus. Since KD left. He's not good in the playoffs. Now, I hope they get in, and I hope he blows up, but he's not good. He's historically bad in the playoffs. Westbrook. He can't shoot. He just doesn't perform well. He really doesn't. I hate to sound like a Debbie Downer, but he doesn't. But I hope they get into the playoffs, and I hope they surprise people. Here's another team I hope does well in the playoffs. The Boston Celtics. So, I think we ask in the NBA, we hold coaches to a higher standard than we hold NFL coaches. With NFL coaches, it's like, okay, maybe they'll develop in a couple of years, and and actually, NFL players are normally older coming out of college and more experienced. There's some NBA players that are like 19 coming out of college. Gosh, my nose is congested. It's not like stopping. Hold on. It does not work. It's not working right now. But the Celtics have always been viewed as well run. But they're in year 7 of the rebuild and feel far away from the title. You know why? Because it's a big ask of an NBA coach to take in 19-year-olds and develop them immediately. NFL, you can develop 23-year-olds immediately, like very quickly. But 19-year-olds take a while to develop. You gotta just make peace with that. Celtics, though, drafting in the last couple years, there have been 2 hits. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Those are the 2 hits out of the 15 last picks they've had. So I don't think it's Stevens' fault, Brad Stevens. I think it's just a big ask for him to develop all these guys, and I don't think they're going to perform well in the playoffs because they have no big man. And I think the Nets match up great with them, and I think the Nets are going to blow their socks off. All right. Actually, I have a music segment, and then